Hello,
everybody, and welcome to Screamers for Scripture. My name is Brandon.
My name is Michael, and today we had the absolute pleasure of interviewing one Magdelene Rose of the band Magdelene Rose, and it was an absolute blast.
It was a pleasure to chat. It was a lot of fun, and they have a new tour happening. Just thought I'd throw that out there, sprinkle that in. Yep. Absolute cinema. Go if you are on, I believe it's the East Coast tour. It is the Beautiful Madness tour with Seventh Day Slumber and the formal, I believe it's the vocalist of Fireflight's new band and Magdelene Rose. They're going through a bunch of the East Coast. They're going to Florida, Georgia, and all that whole good stuff. Go check it out. Whatever I didn't say is on the screen now. It looks like it's going to be sick and epic. And if you're seeing this later, or if you're just like a cool person, you'll check out Magdelene Rose's new album, I guess. I mean, like, if you're cool.
Yeah.
I
hear only cool people can actually hear it, but like, you're cool, of course.
I mean, so you're cool.
You're cool.
You're like
so
us.
You'll probably hear it. Yeah.
You want to be like us.
In every conceivable way.
But in all seriousness, it's going to be epic. Go to that tour. Check out the Heart That Bloomed After Death. It is a phenomenal album. And we'll get right to the interview. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Screamers for Scripture. Today, we have on the awesome Magdelene Rose of Magdelene Rose. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm glad to be talking to you guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. We have been banging the new album recently, playing that, ruining our speakers to it, you could say. And hopefully because I'm the best host, should be seeing you guys live soon on the tour you have coming up with Seventh Day Slumber.
Awesome.
I'm really stoked for that.
Yeah. So it's awesome because we get to do music full time. So none of us have like regular jobs outside of music. And so that's why we're on the road so much, because if we don't, then we're unemployed. But we also love to do it. But it does get tiring sometimes. I think normally towards the end of the year, we try to take like the month of December off and most of January off, because like at that point, we're like just completely empty on everything. And we're like, okay, we need to take a second to just reset, be with people that are like at our home and like not travel, just not do anything and just stare at a blank wall for a few months. And then we'll go back out on the road. But this year so far has been really fun because it's been kind of like 2 weeks on, 2 weeks home. And it's helped us be able to stay like really connected with our church. The church that we go to now is actually really cool. And the pastor reaches out to us like while we're on tour, asking how the tour is going, asking if there's prayer that we need. And we've just been really blessed with that community. And so being able to do like being gone for 2 weeks and then coming back, like me and my husband Blaze, who is our drummer, actually got to lead worship for the first time. And it's because we were doing the schedule the way that it is. And so, it's been really cool this year because sometimes you're gone for a long time, and we'll probably be gone for a long time in the summer because we're trying to go out to the West Coast and it's expensive to do that. So we try to be gone for a long time when we're there. But yeah, so far it's been really cool. Plus it's so cold right now, so it's like I can only handle the cold for so long. Then I got to go home and just sit under the covers and not move at all.
Yeah, it's been kind of ridiculous. Mike's gonna have more to complain than I do for sure, but I'm in Florida and the sun is out, but it's actually, I have to wear a hoodie.
Yeah,
that's my biggest complaint.
Oh, it's 10 degrees here right now.
10 degrees? That's terrible.
It's fine. You get used to it after a while, but I mean, if you're used to warmer weather, then like 50 is freezing, so it's fair.
Yeah, I grew up in Florida, and so now like being in Tennessee is just hard enough, like as it is. But on the last tour we did, we were in, I think, Illinois or Indiana, and the boys were loading the trailer in like -3 degree weather, and I was like, sorry guys, I'm going into the bus. I'm not helping.
Yeah, that's fair.
That is that's horrifying. I'm going to be honest. That's a horror story for somebody like me.
Yeah.
But I did want to say it is really cool to hear how accepted it sounds like you guys are with your church. Because we did a episode with John Schlitt of Petra and Kevin Young of Disciple, and I don't know why I wanted to, but I want my first question was about like the Satanic Panic era and how Christians at the time, or a lot of Christians, I'm not going to generalize, but people in the faith were absolutely mortified about music that was distorted or, you know. So it has been really cool to hear from the newer artists that we interview that it has become significantly more accepted, because it was horror stories from, you know.
Well, that was not always the case too. Growing up, I did experience a lot of that. And so it did really like kind of burn me out with church for a while. But it's just awesome to see how God can redeem all of that, and finding a church here to be with. And then a lot of the churches I get to work with on the road, it's like, oh, okay, not everybody is like this. There are a lot of people that are willing to like be creative with how God has called you. And even if it's not something they understand, they're willing to give it a chance. And you know, then I still have some people come to the shows. They're like, I don't really like your music, but I love what you say, so I want to support you. Like, okay,
that's good.
Really cool.
We want people focusing on the lyrics. I feel like that's a good thing. Oh gosh, I'm definitely happy to see it turning in that direction. And a big through all these interviews we do, a big thing I'm seeing is that it's this type of music is making a even bigger comeback than it already was.
I'm very excited about that, because I kind of grew up, I don't know, I feel like I kind of missed a little bit of the original peak of rock music. And like, obviously there's so much people like, that's not even the peak. You should have seen it back when I was in blah, 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 or whatever. Like, but I was like probably 5 to 10 years old when like Warped Tour was at its height, when all these big Christian metal, Christian rock bands were doing their thing. Every single year there was a new big tour that was only rock music. There's rock music in like the movies and stuff like that. And then when I was old enough to start like really being in the band, I feel like that kind of died off a little bit. I was like, oh man. And so now it's like coming back. I'm like, okay, it's my time. It's the resurgence. So I'm very excited.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I was really young that I'm showing my age here. I'm like 2 years old, but when like when Transformers was super cool, and what is the song at the end of the first movie that I'm blanking on?
What I've Done.
Okay.
That was Michael Bay, and like you like move your hand.
Made by Michael Bay, exactly. That was super cool. And I remember when I was my sister, she was a huge Skillet fan. She was like, "There's a Skillet song in one of the Transformers movies. Did you know that?" And I was like, "What? They can do that? They can put songs that I like in movies." You know, and then you get older, and it was like, so.
Yeah,
I'm glad. I'm really happy to see the comeback.
Yeah, I'm excited. I've seen more people like on social media get into it for the first time. I'm seeing movies start to really be kind of like introducing rock music back into their soundscapes and stuff, which is really cool. And I think some people are like, oh, they're just a bunch of posers. I'm like, I don't care. If you're a poser, come join my fan group and you can learn how to like rock music. I'll take anybody. If you want to learn how to like rock music, like come learn here, because I want it to be mainstream again. And I don't care. Like, you don't have to know everything about everything. Like
those bands that people are like, that's not metal or that's not rock. It's usually the band that gets people into rock and metal. I mean, I got into rock playing Mario Dance Dance Revolution as a small kid, and the Bowser's Castle level had like some guitar in it. I was like, whoa, that's so cool. So it can be anything. It can be freaking anything. It's so silly. Well, because of that, there's been a lot more tours, and I first of all need to say thank you for coming to Florida, because I usually have to drive 3.5 hours to see people.
My goodness.
It's kind of a wasteland in the area I'm in. So thank you for that. But I'm I mean, everyone in that lineup, I'm super stoked to see.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Fireflight was like one of the first few bands I was like, oh my goodness, a girl can be in rock music. That's really cool. And, you know, my little emo teenager self was wanting to do music. And I was like, see, there are more girls that can do this. So I could definitely do it. And then I never got to see them live before they kind of just like somewhat retired in a way. And I was like, oh, I'll never be able to see them. And then Don was like, hey, we're starting a new band. Seventh Day was like, well, you want to go on tour with us? And I was like, are you kidding me? That's so cool. And so now it's like I get to share the stage with her, which is like the weirdest thing. Like little Maggie's, I don't know that if little Maggie's gonna know what to do. Like at least on the first day, I'll like have to get it out, and then like, okay, now I have to be professional the rest of the tour. But the first day, I'm probably gonna be like, ah.
Geeked versus locked in. I got
yeah.
That is awesome. That's so cool though.
To freak out a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like I gotta do I don't know, I don't want to make her feel weird, but I feel like I gotta do the fangirl thing for like a second and like, okay, I'll be fine from now on. Just let me do it for once.
Yeah.
When I started, or sorry, Michael, when we started this podcast, I'm just kicking him out now. I'm kicking out a founding member already. When we started the show, I remember I said, friend first, fan second. Because, you know, I want to be able to have a normal conversation without being like, I love the music so much. That's gone out of the window, like within, I think in the first episode, because I completely get that. Because when you, sometimes it's easy to forget that people are people, and you, not like mistreating them, but like you just like love what they've made just so much. It is like,
you're the voice behind one, like my favorite thing in the entire freaking world. So how do you not freak out?
Yeah. You have to tell yourself, okay, they're just regular people. You wouldn't want someone doing that to you. Like you have to take a second.
I do get it though. That is, that's got to be super exciting.
Yeah. So I feel like this whole, well, I mean, I'm going to say this whole year, literally we're only in like the second month, but so far we've been doing a lot of like Seventh Day will bring back some of the bands, like throwback bands kind of in a way. And so like in January and February, we were on tour with Hawk Nelson's lead singer, Jason Dunn. And so he played some of the Hawk Nelson songs and then he played some new songs. And I didn't really know Hawk Nelson songs. I feel like that was the generation right before me, but the sound is so familiar because it's like everybody in Florida was like, it was the pop punk thing. And I was like, this feels like home. This is so cool. And then Nate Parrish was on the tour too. And so he was in Cutlass. And so it's like all of these bands that were like really big in the early 2000s. And then like, they might not be doing as much now. They're like, I want to do it like full time again. And so it's like, okay, well, we did that. And now we're doing Don Michelle's new band. And so we just been like, okay, what other bands can we like bring back who are not touring and like make them go full time again? So that's exciting. And then like bands like Family Force 5 are coming back. Flyleaf just announced they're doing a 20-year anniversary, like full tour instead of just festival dates. And so there's so much stuff. I'm like, it's happening. All these bands are coming back.
I've noticed that too. I feel like especially at the end of last year and the beginning of this year, every day there's like, oh, this band that's been stagnant for 10 years is releasing an album. Like it just comes out of nowhere. I mean, Senpai Ravens is doing stuff.
I'm coming back. Oh, already. Yeah, I saw that and I was like, what? I did not know that they would ever do anything. And Nine Lashes is putting music out again and like Pillar's playing shows again. It's like, okay. I thought that I would never be able to tour with these bands ever. And now there's a chance.
This is why I started doing music in the first place.
There's a chance.
Yeah, strike while the iron's hot.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool, and that's. I mean, I was gonna say that's what it's all about, but that's probably
it's all about my evil plan.
Yeah.
Everything
I don't have a passion for music. I just want to tour with people. No. I think it's safe to say you have a genuine passion for this, but that is a cool side to it. It's a cool side to it. You get to hang out with these and tour with these folk. That's a big motivator, I'm sure. I can relate to that because I honestly, this project we're doing now started as I listened to listened to music and I was like, how do I be a part of it? And obviously my first thing was like, do music. And I'm like, well, I know nothing about it. So I was like, how can I get in anyway? So I do, I've been doing YouTube for a while. So I was like, I'll it's talking with people and having a good time disguised as a podcast. And talking about what I've been interested in. That is, anyway, my train of thought goes all over the place. But that is really cool. And excuse me, but it's almost like you could say that all these bands coming back, it's like they're blooming after death, you could say.
You could.
That's crazy.
All right, it's over.
All right, it's over. He's done.
I tied it back around.
Yeah, it's all full circle.
Exactly. But I actually did want to bring it back to the album, because since I'm kind of doing this late, like I know the album's been out for a bit already. But I did want to ask, now that it's been a minute, how do you feel the reception has been, to the debut LP?
I think it was way better and bigger than we thought it was going to be. I honestly was like, oh yeah, maybe 40 people will listen to it and that'll be it. And I was like, oh, I'll be happy. That's cool. I don't know if anybody will even listen or pay attention. When we were first starting to figure out the plan to put it out there, I was like, I want to do something cool, but I don't know how to do that because I don't think I have enough fans to do something cool. And I actually saw A Day to Remember. They released their album physically first, and then they released it digitally. And so it's like, okay, guys, we're going to get back into CD collecting. You're going to have to buy the CD if you want to hear it. And I was like, that's such a good idea. I want to do that. But I was like, how do I even tell people how to do that? And I was like, okay, you know what? We're going to make this into a little fan get together thing. And so I printed out this poster. My husband helped me make this Y2K style poster where it literally looked like you were on MySpace looking up new music. And it had the album that cover that nobody had seen before, and it had the release date, physical release date, and then it had digital release date, and it had a scan thing, and it would take you to the order page to order the CD before it was even announced. And I hung that up all over our town where we live, and I just took videos and was like, if nobody buys it, it's not really fun. I just need this video for Instagram. But when I hung it up, there was a few orders that came in before I even posted. I was like, it's working. And so I put it in our Discord server. I was like, hey, if you want to be part of this, watch the video I'm going to post and then send me an email. And I'm pretty sure I had mailed a few people in the Discord server the same poster and just asked them hey, can you hang this up in your city and then send me a video of you doing it? And so I posted my video, and then the people that had done it as well in their town sent me a video, and I made a compilation of their videos. And so there was all these people putting up this poster around town, and there was someone all the way in Croatia did it, somebody in Germany did it, and then people online started messaging me hey, can you send me the picture so I can print it out and put it in my town? And so all these people were putting it up, and they were ordering the CD and the vinyl. I had vinyl for the first time. I literally just did that so I could have one because I collect vinyl. And I was like, oh, well, if nobody buys it, they don't buy it. And I had so many people buy the vinyl, and we sold out of our pre-order packages, and I had to go and reorder more t-shirts, which I've never done that ever before.
That's awesome.
It was just way bigger than anything I ever expected. And everybody was talking about and asking for the poster. And if they did it, we made this whole Dropbox of Easter egg stuff they could find. So I was like, if you send me the video, this is the only way you get that. And so I made exclusive little iPhone wallpapers for people. And I had a bunch of clips from in the studio of us working on the song that had never been released before, or parts that we just didn't use. And was like, oh, this is what the song could have sounded like. And just little pieces of us making the album, or videos of us recording the little sound effects that are in there, and just explaining what each little part was. And then the first, I think 12 people, maybe the first 10 people that submitted a video, they also I mailed them a handwritten lyric sheet but not all of the songs were out yet. And so people who got like Shark Spray, they're like, oh, this is a lyric sheet. Cool. I don't know why I got this. And then somebody else got like The Heart That Bloomed After Death. And they were like, what is this? And they just had no clue what the song was. And I told them that they needed to post it in the Discord when they got something. And I was like, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but if you get something, you need to post it on the Discord because you guys are going to have to work together. And they would post it, and then I would post the picture on my website and like the order that they were going to be in for the track listing. And so when they found them all, they were able to go on my website and like, oh, these are the song titles. These are what they're going to be. And like try to guess what style of the music that the songs were and everything. It was like, I wanted to be like Slenderman, where you're playing, you have to collect the different pages to read the full story. And people like caught on. They're like, it's like Slenderman. I was like, yeah. And it was just so cool. And when the album finally came out, I like posted a thing and asked people to share their stories, like things that their heart is blooming after. Because I was like, everything is always about me or the band or like whatever band, it's their story. I was like, I want to take a second and like highlight your guys' story because I could not be here without you guys. And your reaction to this has just overwhelmed me completely and like blessed my life so much. So I want to take a second to highlight you guys. And so my website for the first like month or two had everybody's stories that they had sent in of like, well, what their like parts of their stories that they felt comfortable sharing. And some people put anonymous, some people had their full names and stuff. And so it was just like a chance for me to give back. And it was just so cool just to see so many people be excited about it because I, again, just did not think that that would happen ever. And it just completely blew my expectations away. We had higher streaming numbers than we've ever had before. I had people posting about it that I just never thought would share my stuff. Kingdom Core shared it a few different times. A lot of friends who have like different music pages. There's a guy who sells vinyls and like makes funny like rock and metal memes. He posted about it and I was like, this is so cool. It's just everybody is coming together. And it was just like the biggest splash I feel like we could have made. I don't know. I feel like there's still something in me that's like, oh, people aren't going to know who I am. People don't care about me. That was God's way of saying like, here, like you're making a difference. People do know who you are. I've called you into this for a reason. So don't doubt yourself. Don't doubt what I'm doing. I didn't call you here because you knew everything. I called you here because you were willing to go. You just got to keep being willing, even if it doesn't seem like it's making a huge difference, even if you don't see things. Like later on down the road, you're going to see like you're here for a reason. It was so cool. And just to be able to get connected with so many people and like, there are people my age and younger who don't even like have a CD player, but they're like, I want to buy a CD because I want to start collecting. So it's just awesome. And like now people are bringing their CDs or bringing their vinyls to come get them signed at a show. And it's like having that live aspect of it back again. And it's just really, I don't know, it feels like something is actually happening, which is really cool.
That is really epic. That's a great way to combine, like, I guess, old media and new media. And it sounds like it worked out great in terms of getting the music out there.
Yeah.
I was going to say, that's like one of the coolest ideas and like most involved things I've ever heard of. That's so awesome. Oh my gosh. I'm glad it worked so well.
Thank you. Yeah. And like, that's the biggest thing because when I was listening to bands, I feel like most of the time they either had already stopped touring or they were kind of to a point where it's like they just didn't really reach out to fans in that way. But the newer bands always did cool stuff like that. So I was like, I want to do that. I want to be the type of band that is always involved with their fans and doing stuff where they feel like they're part of the story too, because literally people could not do music if their fans were not involved. Like buying the music, listening to the music, learning the songs, coming to the shows, buying the merch. We could not do what we do without the fans. So I'm like, I always want them to be a part of the story. So yeah, it's just awesome the way it worked out.
That is really epic. It reminds me, and this was kind of an old head moment for my dad, but it was like back in my day. But it does make me think of it, where he said, when he was a kid, music was you tried to get on the radio, and then there was a select few bands that made it because they got enough people to listen to their music. And then if you heard a song on the radio, you have to hopefully remember what it was called. And then you go into a store and see if they maybe have a CD or whatever the medium was at the time, maybe cassette or vinyl in stock, and then listen to the entire album. And so it's like a blessing and a curse, social media, because it can drive people apart. And it can kind of bring more separation because you have to do less to get access to the music, but it also has brought people together a lot more, and you can get a lot more tours advertised, and that brings people out to actually talk with the people. So it's really cool that you're able to kind of merge the best of both worlds and get it out there. It sounds like a really a great way to do fan collaboration.
Yeah, thanks. I think that's kind of the best way to do it, because like some people, they solely rely on social media, and unfortunately social media just isn't putting people in, like giving them the drive to come to the shows all the time. Like you have a viral moment, but there might be only 2 people from your viral video that come to see you. So when you do kind of combine both of them, like you can use social media to get your name out there, but you're then also doing the groundwork of like playing shows, finding ways to talk to people outside of social media, getting them active and connected. It helps both avenues. And I think that sometimes, definitely at first, both kind of don't grow as fast because you have to kind of play both fields, but then they just continue to grow together instead of one taking off and then the other just completely failing. But definitely it's like you have to figure out what that balance is, because sometimes one needs more work than the other, and then it just switches, and it's like there's a little bit of the strategy you have to kind of figure out, and then social media changes the algorithm and it's completely thrown out the window. So
or you can just be like every big band and delete everything you've ever posted before you make a new album.
Every never existed up until this point.
Yeah, that works too, apparently. Yeah. But I mean, I don't know if it's just the way my brain works, but to me, making so much content around the big project, and this is a compliment, even though it may sound like I'm complaining at first. It sounds like so much hard work to make so much content around it, because for me, I feel like if I were to work on something really hard, and this is a me problem, if I work on something really hard, I'm like, okay, I don't want to do anything else, I'm putting it out, and then hopefully people find it. And so that's a testament to you guys being able to once you've made the thing, you can you remember you're not done yet. There's still the I guess advertising part, but it's a very clever, more friendly and collaborative way of doing it. But I'm glad you guys put in the hard work.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like there's times I'm like, I really don't want to post today. But then I'm like, okay, but what if there's 3 people that have never heard you before and they find it because of the videos? And like, all right, let me crack out my CapCut app and make a little edit of one of my songs.
Oh, okay. No. Yeah.
Oh, my thumbs are so tired.
Yeah. I need to take a 10-hour scroll break. This was really hard.
Oh my, that's literally, I catch myself doing that so much. I'm like, I'm going to do some research. I need to see what bands are posting. And then I'm just scrolling through like different cat videos. Like, look at this person's dog. I'm like, 10 hours have gone by. I'm like, oh, I completely missed the mark there.
Yeah. Well, Mike and I will be playing video games together, and we'll get distracted on our phone, so it's gonna get pretty bad. We're getting distracted from our distraction. There's levels to this. Yeah, we worked on it. We get reps of doom scrolling in. We're like 1, 2, to failure. So, anyway,
back on track.
Yeah. Hey, we'll get back to the awesome content in just a second, but if you like this epic shirt I've been wearing this whole time, and that epic shirt that dead corpse over there is wearing, then you'll want to go to firebrand-merchandise.myshopify.com, or the easier thing to do would be to go to the link in the description, and why don't you check out some of our epic merch with the stringy deathcore font text. We got the Firebrand blue. Hold on, I'm going to stand up. But you can check out what Mike's got, the Screamers for Scripture skeleton there.
I was just sleeping. I'm just so tired. Oh. I'm just so tired. Oh, sorry. I'm just stretching.
Ugh. So tired.
So tired. Check out the Firebrand and Screamers for Scripture merch. Link in the description.
And if you don't, you won't have it.
Yeah.
I don't want to say anything.
if you don't buy the merch, you won't get it. Sorry.
You will not receive the merch.
Yeah. It's just how it goes.
If that were me,
I would want to receive it.
I'd want merch personally.
I would see that and I would be like, wow, Brandon's just so handsome with that shirt on. I want to be that handsome. I have to buy that shirt.
Yep. Back to the video.
Yeah.
I was going to ask on a different new topic. It was a very clever segue I did just now. What is your favorite part of the actual process? Because you sound really passionate about like every part, the getting the music out there, the actual making of the music, the touring. What is your I'm gonna throw a little controversial part in there actually. What is your favorite and least favorite part of doing a project like this?
Well, that's hard. I think my favorite part might come in two pieces. I think like when the song is about to be done, you have like the music, you have the lyrics, and you're like recording it and you're hearing the song like as you've envisioned it. I think that is my favorite part of like the writing process. And then being able to see like people in person, like getting to talk with them after the song is out and hearing how it's resonated with people. I love that a lot too, because I don't want to make music just to make music. I'm doing this to share a story or to share a message that God has placed on my heart. And there's plenty of people that just make rock music or they just make pop music and they just, I just write about nothing. But I don't want to be that type of band. I always want to have something to say. And so being able to hear that it's connecting with people, or sometimes people will talk about the song, how it's affected them from a completely different standpoint. I was like, that's so cool. Like I didn't even have that in mind when I was writing, but the fact that it helped you in that way is so cool. So I think those are my favorite parts of it. But man, my least favorite part is when we are recording and I have to do the same take 500 times. And now my husband is the one who records my vocals. And I get so like, not embarrassed, but kind of shy in the studio. And I'm used to like, oh, well, we go like they've converted this house and you just go in a closet and you lock the door and nobody can see you. So you can make all the weird faces and you can jump around, you can do whatever. Or like there was one time we were in this like really big professional studio and it was like the vocal booth with the window, but you could close the curtain so nobody could see you. But now we are in a home converted studio, but there's no like vocal booth. You're just in the studio and you're singing like next to the computer and the engineer, and my husband is the engineer, and I get so shy. I'm like, please do not look at me. And I'll catch him out of the corner of my eye, turn around, and I'm like, stop, look away. And I hate it so much because he's like, you need to say the word different. And he's like, you sound like you're from Florida. You have to stop saying that. I was like, what do you mean? I don't sound like anything. He said, you can't hear it. You're saying, I don't remember. It was in our song Bad Residential because we actually got the singer Spencer Chamberlain from Under Oath to feature on it, and he's also from Florida, and he did the exact same thing. But my husband's like, we can't really email him and say, hey, can you not pronounce it that way? But he literally said it the same way that you said it, and I got you to sing it the proper way, but then you can literally hear Florida man singing it. And so it's like, but it's those things where it's like, I get so frustrated because I know my husband is right, and I know he wants it to sound the best way, and I want it to sound the best way, but then I get frustrated with myself. I'm like, why can't you say the word right? Like, that is the most frustrating part because it's so tedious. And I know some people love being in the studio so much, and there's parts of that I do genuinely love. But man, when I get to those tedious parts, I'm like, can we just not ever do this ever again? But I'm like, no, I can't do that. I love what I do. I love my job. I love doing music. I gotta get in the right headspace. But man, sometimes that is so frustrating. And you keep singing it, or if you keep singing it wrong too. And like, man, I'm just the worst singer that ever exists. I don't know why I do this. I don't know how I have a job. I think that's probably the worst part ever.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, do you prefer cleans or screams doing those between the two?
I think the screams are a lot easier for me to do, to be honest. And
Really?
I think when I'm singing, there is still a little bit of insecurity there. And I know I'm not the best singer out there, and I'm not the best screamer out there either. And I know there's so much stuff that I still need to learn. And I don't think anybody will ever be like to a point where they can never learn anything, because there's always going to be a bigger, better singer, and you should always be striving to be bigger and better as a performance artist. But I don't know. I feel like maybe I just feel more confident when I'm doing the screaming stuff, because it's not supposed to sound good. It's supposed to sound like like if it's a weird noise, half the time it's good because it's a weird noise.
Yeah.
But with singing, it's like, oh, you have to hit every note proper, and especially if it's like coming to do the runs or the fancy singing, I get so insecure about that because I do not have any training with that sort of thing. I grew up in choir, but I literally got second place in every single competition. There was not a single singing competition I ever won. And so there's parts of that where it's like, oh, I'll never be a good singer. And it's like, my husband has been like very good coaching me wise, and like helping me expand my singing range, and like, well, you should try this. I won't look at you, just try it. So I think the scream is so, but sometimes when I have to do like the weird noises on purpose, that I do get a little bit insecure about, because I hate not knowing what I'm supposed to do. And there's literally no tutorials on any of that, because it's literally just people making stuff up. And so my husband will be like, what if you try some really weird thing? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I don't know, do something weird. I'm like, I don't know how to do something weird. And like, there's a lot of, I hype myself up and then I can't do it. So that part I do get kind of in the same boat as with the singing. But for the most part, I think the screaming is a lot easier to do. And it just makes myself laugh because I am like just a small girl making these like really manly, like gross noises. And so I get a kick out of that. But the singing, I feel like there's a lot of pressure. So I think the singing scares me a bit.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I can't sing for the life of me. So I practice screaming because I want to sing along the songs I like. It, at least in my opinion, is significantly, once you can get a hang of it, because it's almost like singing is partially genetic in a way.
Yeah, there's a little bit where it's like some people just naturally better singers than you'll ever be. When I'm like, how does it feel to be God's favorite? Like,
born to sing, forced to scream and say blah,
forced to make weird noises. My life is so hard.
Oh,
can't believe I have to do this for a living.
I have to be super cool. Very good. That is so. I humble brag, not really, but I
all right.
I've done a few vocal lessons with Michael Felker of Convictions.
Okay.
And he, on our first lesson, we were kind of talking about the nature of it all, and he said when he's on stage in person, he's testosteroning, and in his brain, he's on like a beach somewhere else. Like he said, he kind of, because he has to relax to get his screams to be like more efficient, I guess, and not damage his voice while still sounding like super brutal. And that will eclipse me for the rest of my days, because I practice while driving, which probably looks insane to other drivers, by the way. I'm like,
He's got the most severe road rage I've ever seen in my life. Holy crap.
But I'm like, how am I supposed to stay calm during this? I am literally screaming. I'm like being as angry as I can. So I applaud folks who can do that.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. I feel like, there's definitely a part of you that has to make sure you are relaxed, because if you have too much tension, then you will hurt yourself. But I don't know. I think sometimes my anger does fuel me, though. Like, I don't know. Especially if I'm having a bad day and I know we're on tour, I'm like, don't worry, I'll be fine after the show. I just have to scream a little bit and I'll be good. And like, there's a little bit of an emotional release that way. But you definitely do have to have a part of yourself that's like, I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm so much like on a beach somewhere, but I am like just like slowly releasing emotions out, if that makes sense. That's so funny. People approach it in completely different ways. Like every single person I've talked to is a different way. Just so funny.
Mm-hmm. Some people who are in giant bands, they'll say, I don't know, I just scream while I say words. And some people are like, I'm able to pinch my diaphragm in a certain way and get the air to leave. So it's like some people it's mechanical, and some people are like, I'm loud. You know.
Yeah.
My voice
I'm like, the only technical thing I told people, I'm like, yeah, you have to push from your stomach. If you've never heard of a diaphragm before, push from your stomach. Don't push from here, because if you everyone thinks you're gonna pull from your neck. That's how you hurt yourself. But I don't even know. People are like, do you do a fry scream? Do you do this scream? I'm like, I got no clue. I just make the noise and I just push from my stomach, and whatever comes out comes out. Like,
that is kind of what the genre is about, though. At the end of the day, like kind of letting the anger out. I feel like it's one of the healthier outlets for anger, because breaking controllers. That's when I was younger. That's how I did it.
We threw controllers at the wall.
Yeah, exactly. That's how we did it back in my day. We just broke controllers, and my parents got mad at me. No.
2010.
Yeah. If anyone's played For Honor, Mike has. You've broken a few controllers in our days. But it does feel like sometimes I'll go a few days without listening to music because I'll be busy or whatever, and on some business trip, and I have no way. I literally have no way to just pop in an earphone, listen to music. And I don't know if I'm an addict confessing to being addicted to music, but I'm like, I literally feel like I need to listen to heavy music right now, because I feel like I'm gonna punch a hole in the wall. But ironically, if I do it too much, I also feel like I'm gonna punch a hole in the wall. Maybe I should just see a therapist.
Might be a good idea.
Yeah, no, I'm being dramatic, but it does feel like a healthy outlet for anger, because it's not like anger is an emotion that you're not allowed or even not supposed to feel. I mean, I know it's a really common thing, but a lot of Christians will kind of like point to the cleansing of the temple, and that's not to say anger is just okay to do. It's not okay to take your anger out on others unrighteously, but it is an emotion we're allowed to feel. It is how you express it, and I do feel like for a lot of people who like expressing emotions through or by experiencing art, by creating or experiencing art, heavier music is like. It's like I call it a brain massage. And so the screams, the screams, seem to it makes so much sense. It just clicks.
Yeah.
I know that wasn't exactly, we were talking about technique, and I immediately went into like the nature of it, but it does interest me. And it makes sense.
Yeah, I think one of the coolest things about kind of like what you were talking about, like, I just make the noise and then whatever comes out. So I feel like, especially with this genre of music, you're allowed to do that a lot. And I think that some of the best ideas come out of that. And like, at least for me, and I'm not a singer, but like when I'm trying to think of something, the harder I try to think about something, the like, it's almost like the less productive I am. And then if I just do it, then I cough up something that's great. And so I feel like that you can get a lot of great material out of that.
For sure. Yeah. And I think that's the thing too. It's like people try to make it so technical sometimes. And it's like, sometimes there isn't this like great methodical piece behind it. Like obviously the lyrics, I think, should be something you completely think through and discuss. But like the way that you just convey the music at some points, especially when it comes to the screaming, sometimes it's just like emotional anguish, and you just do whatever comes out, and like that's what's gonna sound good, because that's how you're feeling in the moment, or that's how you were feeling in the moment of these lyrics when they were written. And that's why sometimes even live the way that the song is performed will change vocally, and it's like we're still singing the same song, I'm still screaming the same words, but sometimes they sound different because it's how I'm feeling in the moment. And it's kind of like the music adapts with how you're feeling. And sometimes it gets permanently recorded in a certain feeling, and then you'll go see it live and it's like, oh, this is the same song, but it sounds different. It's kind of cool to hear it in this way.
Sometimes you gotta scream, and
sometimes you gotta scream, and sometimes that's what it sounds like.
It makes for incredible music.
That it does.
And yeah, and that's something. So you know what? Now that we are getting to like the latter half of the episode, now I will ask, what is next for? Thank you, Mike. He's a fly getting ready to eat. What is next for that you can say comfortably? What is next for Magdelene Rose?
So we are doing a lot of touring this year. We finished touring with Jason Dunn and Nate Parrish and Seventh Day Slumber, and we're about to head out on the road with Seventh Day Slumber and Altira, which is Dawn Michelle from Fireflight's brand new band. This is her very first tour, and after that, we're actually heading to the West Coast for some touring. But in between all of these tours, we've actually had time to sit down and write some music. And we've actually been working on little ideas since before the album even came out. We're always just like, okay, that would be something cool to do. Let's just record the small, 30-second idea and we'll throw it in a Dropbox and we'll look at it later. That's not important right now, but we have to make sure we record it because that's cool and we don't want to forget it. And we kind of started looking in the Dropbox folder late last year, starting to get some more ideas. And then at the beginning of the year, when we got back from tour, our guitar player, Weston, was like, hey, I could go back home, but I have all of my stuff to work on music if you guys want to work on something. And our other guitar player, Zach, lives really close to us. And so we just had him come over and we spent almost a whole week just going over ideas. And there's some songs that are almost completely done musically, and there's some songs that already have chorus ideas on them. There's some songs that are just completely nothing right now. And there's some that are just like, oh, it would be cool to do something like that. And just they're kind of in the discussion stage instead of we're not even writing them yet. But there's a lot of cool ideas that we have, but nothing is even to a point to even discuss release dates yet, but we want to hopefully get to that soon. And with the touring schedule we have, now that we have some of them in the song form, we can start doing sound check jams with them, which is really cool because you can see how they would sound live and adjust them and figure out, okay, well, I don't like how that sounds actually. It sounded cool in the studio, but it doesn't actually sound that cool live. So let's adjust it to have a better balance of the in-between. So I think we want to start doing that if we have time on this tour that we're about to go on. And then hopefully we'll start actually working on some more lyric ideas and vocal ideas as we finish the musical part of it. And sometimes we do the vocals before, but a lot of what we've had has been musically driven. But there was an idea that I had completely separate, and Weston had literally just an iPhone video of something, and they ended up working completely perfectly together. So that one is one of my favorite ones, but it's not done at all. So we're going to try to do a lot of work because we have a lot of really cool songs that they sound like Magdelene Rose, but they're the step up, which is really cool. We still have a lot of the heaviness, and then we are also kind of diving a little bit more into the I don't even early 2000s rock sound of it too, because we love the pop punk stuff, we love the heavy stuff, but I feel that's kind of the area we're missing. And there's not really rules to what we write because we write so much different stuff. I feel anything could any genre could be stuck in there, and we could figure out a way to make it work. So there's a lot of cool stuff that I'm interested to see how people will react to, because some of it's new and it's not something that we've ever done before, but it still sounds like it fits perfectly fine. And I think people are going to be really excited, but it's definitely going to take a little bit more work on our end to get something ready to be released.
That's awesome though. You're cooking. You're cooking.
Yeah, we're cooking in the studio.
Some bands, they release their first EP or album, they're like, all right, never doing anything ever again.
We're done.
You're doing the hard step of actually continuing to be a band.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Apparently it's a very hard step for a lot of people. So
I know you wouldn't think that it would be, but yeah, we're excited, and we want it to make an even bigger splash. And I've been trying to work hard on building our social media as well, which is really cool because I was not really into the social media trend thing. I would do the funny TikTok trends, but I would just be oh, we're playing here at a show. But at the end of last year, I was like, I really want to build up our page, and I'm going to do the cringy thing and be like, I wish I knew this band. I wish I knew this band. Hey, you can know us. We're a new band. And I'm like, I'm just going to do it. I don't care if it's cringy or not. Like, I'm passionate about this. And so I'm just going to do it, and we'll see if it works. And it didn't really work at first, but then we started to have a few posts that would just like get picked up by the algorithm, and our followers have jumped up. And now that we're touring again, I want to take a second to like introduce the other members, because a lot of the videos are just of me. Or they're like a live thing with like text over the screen. So I want to take a second and be like, hey, these are the rest of our band. Like, learn our members. So you know the songs, you know my face, but you can also know the rest of us too. So I want to start doing that. And, not that we're like a social media band size or anything, but if we could become a social media band, that would be really cool too. And I think there's definitely a fun side of it with that. And the boys would be more involved because they're not really big into social media either. They all have pages, and some of them post like somewhat consistently, but then other times I'm like, I just don't even want to post anything. So if I can make it fun for them, they can be more involved with social media and like have fun with it, because I'm like, guys, look, isn't that so exciting? And they're like, yeah, I just want to go back to my slime videos.
Based. That's based.
So I think that would be fun. And last year we did a live stream concert for everybody when the album came out on my Twitch channel, and we had viewers from all over the world. And I thought, again, that's like cool. 14 people would be watching, and there was like I think 100 people like almost the entire time. And then at the end of the night there was 1,000 views on it, and I was like,
wow,
I didn't know this many people would watch our concert. So I want to do more of those too, especially if we're home for like the holidays or something. Releasing new music, and it's people that haven't had a chance to hear it. I think it would be fun to at least do that once a year, because our church was the place that let us actually, they hosted it and we got to do it there. So they have a stage, they have an LED wall. They have a whole live stream system that they just let us plug into, which was really cool.
Oh, cool.
Originally, we were just going to try and set up my phone camera and plug my phone into like the soundboard and hope it looked good. But they had like different camera angles and all of this stuff. And so I think doing something like that more often would be really cool, because I haven't really been doing a lot of Twitch streaming. I used to love doing it so much and playing video games, but now it's like when we tour so much, it's hard to find places that even have Wi-Fi. And so if I can adapt it to be like, okay, well, we'll do concerts here, and then hopefully I will be able to find a setup where I have like permanent Wi-Fi with me or something, then I can start playing video games on stream again too. But for now, I want to focus on at least like the realistic things. Like, okay, let's try to plan maybe 1 or 2 events on our Twitch channel a year. Yeah. Like, start small and then figure out the permanent thing, like, eventually. But
yeah, I mean,
groundwork.
Yeah. 100 viewers at once, that puts you in like the top like 0.5% of Twitch like immediately. So that's very impressive. That's really cool. Off-topic question: what games did you play when you were streaming?
I was gonna ask that, but I was like, I don't want to derail the conversation.
Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead, ask it.
No. You already asked this.
No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I played a lot of different games. I love Escape the Backrooms, and I watch the dev on YouTube, like as he makes the different like levels to it and stuff. So that one was one of my favorite ones to play. And then my game like glitched out, so I don't even know if it works anymore. But I think it just needed an update, so I think we should be good.
Right.
I played Minecraft sometimes. I played Poppy Playtime when it first came out, and I had to get my brother-in-law to come help me because I got scared. There's a game. What was that game? Me and my husband and his cousin, we play Peak. We play like RV Varia, like they call them Friend Slop now. Which
yes, we love Friend Slop games.
I love them so much.
They're so good.
But yeah, I love playing the scary games, but I'm also a chicken. So I think people I think that's why they watch, because they knew I was a chicken. But I also love anything that's related to like zombies. I love zombie games. I love like the sharpshooter games. I used to be a lot better. I feel like I've lost some of my skill, but I'm trying to get back into it and like be better again. I had to like stop for a while because I was in college and like doing work and then all on the road too. And so I didn't have as much time to play video games. So I feel like I lost some of my skill there. So I'm slowly working back now that I have more free time. But then it's like, okay, well, now I have to do band work. So I got to figure out how to switch that around. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Time management.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like my worst skill too. So
yeah, I'm there with you.
I'm like, how can I fit in 8 hours of playing games while also like going to the gym and having a normal job and stuff? Is there a way to squeeze that in?
I do think I can add more time to the day.
Ironically, a good zombie game is it's decent, but there's a reason I like it. Killing Floor 2. The soundtrack, I don't know why this is. The soundtrack is Demon Hunter, Impending Doom, and Living Sacrifice. And I don't know how that happened. I don't know what dev behind the game was like a closeted Christian secretly trying to evangelize through Killing Floor 2, which is like a pretty violent, brutal game. Yeah. But the only reason that we have ever played it is because we just want to put the music on. We're like, oh my gosh, we love these bands. But anyway,
that's so funny. I have to look that game up. That's so funny. Yeah. I need to like reach out to the dev, like, hey, if you ever want to make another game, I'm a band that you should definitely put on there.
Yes. They actually did make a Killing Floor 3, and apparently it was garbage. So they'll have to make a fourth. Well, they'll have to make a fourth one, and I think the one thing they changed is they didn't put you guys in there. So they'll make a fourth one, put you guys in.
It'll be the Resurgence.
Yeah, and then that game like the best game ever made.
Yeah, it'll be
50 million copies sold.
Yeah.
Fortnite stock goes down as Killing Floor 4 stock goes up.
Yep.
Anyway, I don't know how we got here, but that is, I don't want to hit my capture card again. Okay. That's awesome. Twitch it sounds like you guys are everywhere. You got TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch. I mean, where else can everyone follow you?
We're also on Facebook. We're also on Threads. We're also on... Actually, we have 2 YouTube channels. We have a music video channel and we have a vlog channel. So I film like behind the scenes when we're on tour. So I do that type of stuff as well. So I have to edit those YouTube videos as well. We're literally on like almost every social media site, and I try to infect it with Magdelene Rose everything I touch.
That's good. Cross promote. That's smart. Thank you so much for joining us today. It has been a wonderful conversation. And thank you for giving us a little insight into the mind that goes into making your tunes, your awesome music. I do have one last question though. Are you comfortable closing us out in a prayer?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you for having me too. This has been so much fun.
Of course. Thank you for joining us.
All right. Thank you, God, for just this awesome conversation that we were able to have today, and just for bringing like-minded people together, and just for the encouragement and for the community that you're building here, God. I pray that you will just continue to bring more people to not just this podcast, not just to my band, but just to this community and genre of music, that you will continue to use it to bring people to you, and that you will find the people that feel like are outcast, find the people that feel like they've been abandoned, or the people who have experienced hurt, and that you will just use bands or podcasts or whatever you deem necessary, God, to heal the hurt that they've experienced, and to introduce yourself to them in a way that they have never been introduced before, that they will see you in a new, complete way, God, and that you will just continue to build up this community, that you will continue to push people to have boldness and to have grace and patience for people, and to that you will continue to use people who understand what that hurt feels like, but who haven't given up on you, God, and who aren't willing to give up on other people either. Thank you again just for this conversation, for this opportunity, and I pray that you'll use it to just encourage others and to build others up. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Man, thank you.
Wow. What a great interview that was, and a great prayer at the end too. You could say.
Amen. Yeah, you did say it, like, so it's already been said. But yeah, it was an absolute pleasure. It was an absolute blast. And yeah, I mean, I had a good time learning about the creative process, some of the challenges that get faced. But it was really cool to get to talk to Magdelene Rose, and it was a great statement that I had before I lost my train of thought.
Yep, there you go. It's one for you. It happens to me every episode. It's got to happen to you once.
Yeah. I'm just
hey, Mike, what time is it? What time is it?
9:51.
I think it's time to check out The Heart That Bloomed After Death, if you haven't already.
Oh, of course. I think it's also time to buy tickets for the tour that is happening right now.
Oh my gosh, you're so
with Magdelene
right.
Rose. Oh my goodness.
If you want to be cool,
like us,
you're gonna put out that cigarette you're smoking. You're gonna pour that liquor you have down the drain, and you're gonna buy tickets to the Beautiful Madness tour and listen to The Heart That Bloomed After Death.
I hear that's where all the cool people are going.
Said that.
It's
true.
Yeah, it's true though. If you don't go to this tour, bad things will happen. And those bad things are the fact that you're going to miss out on the awesome tour that's happening.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be a bad thing.
So go check out Magdelene Rose, get your tour tickets. And, also remember that God made you special.
And he loves you very much.
Bye-bye.